now.
Should be a little bit faster. I hope.
Sweet. If the tech, as long as the technicians did their job right.
That's the thing. I'm just kind of testing it out, right? So
If you didn't know, Kong is testing out his new internet connection live on stream.
yeah, yeah. What is up, guys? I think we're live now, right? So
Yeah, we are. Yeah. So this is just going to be, we're going to look at the charts real quick, and then we're going to go into look into pttc.com and poke around in there, and then we're going to call it a day. So let's look at what's going on in crypto. Has everybody got their band-aids handy? Bitcoin, 103,000.
band-aids and napkins,
Tissues.
tissues.
Yeah. Oh man, guys, it is what it is. I don't know what the impetus is. Kong, do you know what's causing the red candles today? Besides the war, I mean, the war was last week and this week,
That
but
that was my understanding. It probably just whatever, like the war and whatever else is like the bad news of the day. So
yeah. Well, we're in the highest volatility asset of all time. It's also the highest appreciating asset of all time. So you just gotta fasten your seatbelts, put your trade table in the upright position, and just buckle in. Ethereum's $2,400. Pulse is, what was the all-time low on Pulse? I thought it was 4025, and here we are at 4024. No, it was actually, whoa. Yeah, this is okay. It was 402 basically. So we're not at all-time low yet on Pulse yet. Let's not go there. Okay. But if it does, I mean, are you going to sell all your crypto, Kong?
that's not the plan.
Okay. You're
I
not,
mean,
huh? Okay.
I mean, I
You're
feel
going to
like
panic
that's the
sell.
golden rule: is you don't sell at the very bottom of the all-time lows.
Good job, Dan. Good job, man. I like that. Whoa, look at UFO, man. Well, it's up 9% from, but it's at 15,903.
I don't think UFO today dropped as much though.
It's at the UFO PLS pair is 1483. But you're saying it didn't drop as much as PTDC?
I think when I was looking at it,
Okay.
I think PDGC I think it got in the past 24 hours got hit a little bit hard. So
Okay. Let's see how it's doing against Pulse. It was running up earlier this month up against Pulse, and I don't think it's done. I do not think it's done running up against Pulse. What about UFO? I bet UFO is looking a little rougher up against Pulse. Oops. Not too bad, actually. Pulse X down 6%, Hex, Ink, Teddy Bear, and so on. So yeah, it's a red candle day. Is it Friday the 13th? No, it's Friday the 20th. It's all good. Like I was telling Kong before the stream, you're not going to sense any. I hope you cannot sense any bearishness out of me, because I am full on excited. I'm excited about. Did you hear Kong? Did you hear Richard Hart say? What did he say? Something. You guys better get ready, because things are going to get exciting in like 60 days or 90 days, something like that.
oh yeah, no, I think I do remember. Yeah, I don't know where the tweet's at, but that's what people were saying. I think he said
Yeah,
2 months, right, or something like that.
something like that. I need to look it up. Not that he's the best at timelines and such, but just the sheer fact that he's like, you know, get ready, guys. I don't know if that's not his exact words, but he exudes positiveness. Like it ain't over. Like something's coming. And I get the sense that something's coming. Like he has a plan. I don't know what it is, but we don't even need him, honestly. I'd like to have him. He's an asset, very much so. But all we need is new users, adoption over onto Pulse Chain, and Pulse Chain's going to have its run too. He wrote 60 days, Rick in 305 says. Cool. Because that means end of, and that was like last week. So that would be middle of August, I think. So probably something going to shake out by the middle of August. All right, my man. I like here's some more alpha about that same thing. He says, and I have this real good feeling that they'll learn probably in under 2 months. We'll see. Yeah, that sounds exactly like what I remember seeing. Thank you, William Diggin. All right, man. Now, I did tell everybody on my stream on Wednesday that look into ptdc.com has an update, and it's the DAO.
Oh yeah. Should I pull it up?
Yeah. How about you do that, and then you can be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, no problem. But here, if I share my screen.
Let me see here, and hold on. I'm gonna remove William and add that. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I think me and Pereira will probably start streaming every time like there's a new feature on the site, just to kind of showcase it and kind of talk about and kind of just showcase development and that sort of process through the site and stuff. But kind of the whole point of this DAO, and I just want to make this as clear as possible, is like any funds that get put through this DAO, and keep in mind it's like 100k PLS for a certain action, which is just mostly to prevent like bots or like disingenuous sort of actions through like this DAO, to hopefully help mitigate that, to add like a little bit of a fee. And then the thing about the fee is, like I said, all the funds or all the fees and all the funds do go to buy and burn PDGC, which is pretty cool. So kind of how it works is it's relatively simple here, and you don't have to connect to it to be able to see like kind of the basic stats on it and stuff, but you can actually see there has been a submission on the DAO. So kind of how this works is like, especially if you're a whale, just as an example, right? And you want to see like a certain feature, a certain metric, or a certain idea you have that you think would be like really good to showcase PDGC, and you would like to see it on the site, you can submit that feature request here. So all you need to do is like connect your wallet, and then right here, connected, and then whatever your feature request would be. So like you could say, I think one we have in mind is like the UFO share rate, and ideally the more specific the better, right? Because you can see this one is specific enough where you can make sense of it, right? Or I can make sense of it, you can make sense of it, we can all kind of make sense of like what they're kind of asking for. But if I were to say something like UFO share rate, it's a little, I'll say maybe it's a little ambiguous, or it's a little in general. So just try and be as specific as possible. And there is a 500 character limit, which I think should be enough for like, most type of feature requests and everything like that. But yeah, keep it simple, keep it specific, keep it easy. And then if you want essentially kind of a priority on your submission, you're able to submit more pulse. And keep in mind, like all that pulse gets sent essentially to buy and burn PDGC. So if you think, you know what, I'm a PDGC whale, I think this feature would be a really cool idea, I'm going to submit this feature request and I really want it to get done, so let me kind of up the value here. That's kind of how you could look at it, right? And then from a regular user's perspective as well, you can read through these like feature submissions, and if you think there's one that's like, like let's say you're a whale and someone already like gave an idea that you think is just like, we need this idea, you can upvote it. So for example here, there's little options here to upvote it with 100K is the minimum, again to kind of like prevent against like spam and like disingenuous sort of actions. But yeah, 100K is the minimum. You can upvote it with more if you want to kind of show that priority. And I think I'm not sure if there is a limit. There may be a limit on this. So in case you do run into the limit, like you shouldn't be spending that much anyways. But yeah, And then here you could just click to upvote, like the little button here, and then you will like. I don't think you can see it on stream, but I could see it on my computer here. I think you can see the little MetaMask notification though. So I just canceled it. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
But yeah, that's pretty
Cool.
much what it is and stuff. And like, if you're one of these top contributors, you do get tracked through the DAO, so people will be able to see like the different addresses and like how much they've requested, if they've received a lot of votes or done a lot of activity, this type of thing. And then on top of that, the contributions as well. So this is like anyone, and then this isn't for bugs, right? So if there's a bug or an issue, or you're noticing like there's a number that's wrong, please reach out to me, right? Or yeah, please reach out to me, or reach out to someone, kind of who can kind of help you, kind of direct me to kind of fix that bug, right? But if there's like a certain feature or metric or data point you would like to see,
Hmm.
that's what
Yeah.
this is for. So yeah, totally.
Okay. So this would apply to just a simple little feature or like a big feature. And I would say like maybe the bigger the feature, the more that a person should contribute in polls, although it may not even matter. Because if I got my understanding correct, that I think what you were telling me is that like a person can submit a feature request, but it can be superseded by somebody that has another feature request that pays more in polls, right?
That is correct. So there can be a market or almost an auction even around like different features if people like would like to see this one kind of upranked or upvoted on the system, that you can like spend more essentially. But there's no like no one's forcing you to or anything like that. So
Okay, this is cool because you know what this means. I'm joking. I'm going to joke a little bit, but one day we could have like a perfect look into ptdc.com because everybody has an ability to put in a feature request or an upgrade request, and everybody can voice their opinion basically. So it may not actually it may not be even feasible for everybody's feature request to be implemented. So what do you do with that when that happens?
that's a good question. So there will be like, ideally there would be a market behind certain features. Like I'm sure there will be like the obvious one that's like the number one most most amount of like kind of funds dedicated towards it, and like those ones will get prioritized. And essentially how it will work is, and it's no expectations or anything like that as well, but how it will work is like I will come into here, and if I see like maybe once a month when we've let's say we've completed last month's feature, and now like we're like, all right, let's complete something new, like let's implement something new, we could come on here, and then I would be able to actually essentially submit one of these requests in the works essentially. So right now there's nothing, yeah, there's no work requests yet because I haven't moved anything into that next sort of scheduling like period. But ideally how it would work is like after the previous feature is completed, we come in here, whichever one's the number one top at that time, we would move into like the next category, which is like kind of in the works or in progress. And then you could see that one here as well. And then once it's completed, you guys will also be able to see all the completed features here on the DAO
Mm,
as well. So there will be like that. You'll be able to kind of see it in stages of like, just a request to like in progress to like now completed type of thing. So
this is so cool, dude, because it gives users like myself the ability to have input, and we get to buy in, if you will. We get our buy in because we're actually contributing Pulse, which is going to burn PTDC, and every single PTDC that's in the burn address, every single one will never earn another reflection or staking reward, which is truly amazing. But it gives us, I mean, we don't have to reach out to you in an email. We can actually do two things at once: reach out to you through the DAO and burn PTDC. And it
Exactly.
incentivizes it's like, okay, if you really want this feature request, you're going to pay for it. It's just 100 million. Was that 100 million? Not 100 million, 100,000 PTDC. I mean, polls, 100,000 polls. Could that change? I mean, what if the price of Pulse does 100x?
I think it can change, but think like, and if it does, maybe that's just the inflation. Maybe that's just what it is, type of thing. But we'll see. And like, yeah, I think I could totally change it and everything like that. But um, like I said, that 100K PLS, I think right now it's like $2.50 is not going into my pocket. It's not for like a piggy bank or anything like that. It's to create a market and to actually show like what features do people actually want to see, right? Because
Yeah.
if I make it let's say I made it just cost gas, right? I'm sure you'd have people like try and exploit it in some way or another. But if there is like a fee associated with it, I think you'll likely see more genuine action. And like I said, all those funds go to buying and burning PDGC, and like Prairie was saying, like they don't earn reflections after that. So it really is like kind of a positive solution in that sense. But yeah, right now it is 250. So but I
It
think
is.
it is like not a very high cost. I mean, I don't know
No.
how rich or
No.
not everyone is, but
That's very, very inexpensive, in my opinion, compared to where we're going. And the value of the site. Obviously, I think it's, I mean, $2.50 for it pretty much. And you could ask anything practically. You can ask. Doesn't hurt to ask. Yeah, for $2.50. I mean, wow, man. I can think of several things that I'd like to spend $2.50 on, for features for this look into BTDC. I'm just, one step at a time. One step at a time. I would say that not necessarily only whales are going to be participating, but sharks, dolphins, squids, turtles, you name it. I mean, anybody that has a look into PTDC subscription can submit a feature request. You know,
and that's the thing as well, right? Like I would like to make this site for the people as much as possible, and like here, like I could think maybe this idea is good, but maybe it's like no one gives, like no one cares, right? Like no one, it's not, maybe it doesn't apply to that greater sort of audience. But and I know there's been a lot of good ideas that the people come up with and that type of thing. So like you said, Perry, like I think we'd be able to make more of a perfect site with this sort of DAO. But yeah, I don't know. I just would like to. I feel like I can't stress it enough. Is like all funds go to the buy and burn, right? So it's not a piggy bank in that sort of sense. And it's like you're contributing to PDGC burns, and you're contributing to like the development of this site at the same time. So yeah.
right? Yeah, I love it. I think looking to be, and I'll get to meme Gadu, your question here in a second, but I think that this look into BTDC site is going to continue to innovate all through the cycle, and even into the next bear cycle. I think it's going to be become, it already is, but become more valuable going into the cycle, because it's going to get more attention. Because why? Because Pulse Chain is going to onboard people. They're going to come over into the Grays currencies, which are, in answer to your question, Magoo, you said, what's the stream about? Meme tokens, sort of, or anything? It's like PTDC and UFO they are like meme coins in a sense, with massive utility. PTDC is the Grays currency. The mascot is an alien, which we do lots of fun things with. UFO is obviously a UFO. So they're meme coins with utility, and their tickers, they're an index of the best tickers on Pulse Chain. So you can come over to Pulse Chain, hold PTDC and UFO, and by extension, hold the best assets on the whole Pulse Chain. And Pulse Chain, by the way, is going into its first cycle run. It hasn't had its first cycle yet. You know what happens to layer ones on their first cycle? So there you have it. Mamagadu. Meme coins, memeable, meme-like characteristics, and all that. But yeah, massive utility. And they, by holding them, they pay you passively. And then Kong has built this fabulous look into PTDC.com, which is it's a, what do you call it? Like a data metrics site? What do you call it?
Yeah, like you could say it's a dashboard.
It's a dashboard, definitely, of just all kind of metrics on PTDC and UFO. How much is burned? What's the volume? What's the price? How many X's to $1? All that sort, or to a penny. Let's get there first. All that sort of stuff, and then number of, you got staking data on there. Oh man, what else? I'm putting myself on the spot here. You've got a reflections calculator, a moon math calculator, a locking calculator. What else? You got spreadsheets from, my spreadsheets are in there. UFO LP data, and the DAO now. And there is more stuff coming. 100%. There's more stuff coming.
And you guys can choose what things are to come, right? Like that's what the whole thing of the DAO is too, right? So it's like, yeah.
And many of the things on Look into PTDC are behind the paywall. So you have to, if you want all of it, you gotta subscribe to it. And that's $19.99 a month. If you use my what do you call it? My coupon PB15, it garners you I always forget. I think it's 15% off, which gets you so you pay $19.99 per month. And you can even, how do you say you can cancel the first month, something like that, if you don't like it?
Yeah, no. So there's a refund policy if you don't like it. Within 14 days, if you reach out, like I'm happy to refund you your cost. And then for Prey Bananas code, it is like PB15 and it costs $19.99 for life. And if you don't like it, you can cancel anytime, and you do get instant access right away. So you get your login sent to the email that you submit when you sign up for the paywall. Yeah.
Right on. I like the Moon Math 2.0 calculator too. And what that does is it allows you to simulate injecting, like, let's say you wanted to see what would happen to the price of PTDC and UFO if somebody bought $1 million worth of tokens. How many X's would it do? And you can do that with this site. It's just super fun stuff. And how can investors or traders look into like keep an eye on the market and people exiting perhaps? Are there ways that people can strategize?
Yeah, so there's a few different charts on there. Like there's transactions overlaid with like price, with volume and stuff. Like I've seen it happen where the transactions sort of act like an RSI on like some of these charts. Like you guys, I'm sure you guys have all seen like stochastic RSIs and things like this. Another thing is I like looking at the average volumes, like just straight on the which is a free feature, straight on the dashboard, and you're able to like, sort of get a sense of like how even PDGC and UFO are performing relative to each other. But yeah, this is one thing of like it's one thing I've done with this site is kind of compared PDGC and UFO kind of over time and seeing how UFO it will get super competitive, and then during these times now it will kind of taper off a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm showing on my screen some of the like the fee allocation, which is very interesting. And you can even do a price overlay. Let's go to the I mean, do you mind sharing a little bit of this?
Yeah, I would very much welcome it.
Okay. Let's do a price, and this is probably my favorite right here. Okay, so this is PTDC volume history, and then you can set it to 7, 30, 90, 180, 280 days. Now I have found the 280 day setting to be the most to give the most information. All right, so we've got, let's see. Do I need to set, let's see. I think I just select show price overlay, right?
You can do show price overlay, and then if you also do the fees, I think if you click the fees,
Okay, this is new. I haven't seen the fees.
but yeah, you can sort of you can sort of see like on a daily basis, like chart it out, like where all the fees are going out and everything like that. And then,
Wow. Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I have seen this. It's totally
yeah,
great.
I do think you have seen it. So
You know, one of the takeaways I take from this one, and this is not, I'm not saying this is set in stone, but like look over here. How do I get rid of that? Look over February 3rd when volume spiked up. We had our highest volume on that day. And then after it was after a couple days, several days after that, that the price also topped out. So it's like volume, at least in that time period when volume peaked, price peaked a few days afterwards. And that's the kind of thing that I see would be valuable to investors and maybe even traders is digging into some of this information and watching for trends. You know what I mean? And dude, you can literally you can screen. I don't know if you can know that you can do this with AI, Kong, but you can screenshot this and post it into ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT about this platform and say, talk to me, you know, and it'll tell you stuff.
and I think that's a good point as well. Like even if I think even if you go on the site, I think even if you screenshot some of the things, especially behind, we can't show. I don't know if we can show everything behind the paywall, but if you screenshot some of those things and even send them into the AIs, you'll likely see some. You'll likely see some good responses back about kind of
Yeah.
what you can make of the site and stuff. And like I'll say, I think it's especially helpful if you're. I think it's especially helpful if you're a big whale to see everything that's happening like in your token type of thing. So
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's walk people through how to look into PTTC, and unless there's anything else you want to talk about, then we can wrap it up.
no, I'm all good.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen again, and let's go to the dashboard. So how do people, because actually somebody was asking me on stream the other day or somewhere, they were asking me like, how do I get this subscription?
What I think for most people, if you don't have a subscription, you won't have an account. Pray. What I would do is log out of your account real quick as well,
Okay.
and then you will see there's the get premium button there in the kind of top right.
Okay.
Yeah. This is sort of the page that I would direct people to if they want to kind of get more information and then also sign up. So you can see like the regular price is $24 a month.
Mhm.
Build monthly, cancel anytime, right? Instant access via email, so no waiting around. Just make sure you put in an email that you have access to. We talked about like the 14-day money back guarantee, and then I'll also say is like we're using Stripe for payments, which is like this is the same thing. I think Twitter's using Stripe for payments. I think ChatGPT is, or at least they used to be, using Stripe for payments. Don't quote me on ChatGPT, but I definitely know X's and a ton of other companies like top companies are using Stripe. So it's not like
Right.
yeah, it's not like I didn't build a credit card checkout for you guys to use. I can't see anyone's credit card information, but if you click
Okay.
on upgrade now, only $24 a month.
Okay.
That's I would say this is the main sort of checkout page that everyone kind of would get brought to. So just make sure, and you don't have to click on any of the things on the right there, but I would say click on add promotion code and then just show people how they could add your promo in there.
Okay. So you just add the promotion code and then check out.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
And yeah, just make sure you have the right email and that type of thing. Um,
Okay.
so you can get sent the login. Then if you have any issues, like you can message me, and I think Prairie said you can message him as well, and we'll make sure that you get access right away.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you ever have trouble with your account, definitely reach out. Most people, there's like no issues or anything like that, so I will say that as well.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for building it, man. I'll say it out loud. Really appreciate it, because when I came into the Grays, I was like, we got to have metrics. This is such a great ecosystem but it's totally like metricable. And we've got the metrics, guys. But there's more that we can do. So thanks to the DAO, we can make our input, make our requests known. We just have to pay $2.50. All right. Call. Is that about a wrap?
Yeah, I think that's all from me. So
Okay, guys. All right. Thanks for joining us. And again, if you want the subscription to lookatbttc.com, my coupon code is PB15. That way you guys don't have to pay full price. PB15. All right, guys. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Spaces tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific. See ya.